Hey, so I promised the Interactive Fiction forums I would do a post-mortem on Weird Grief, so I figured I'd do a little video post-mortem on the Dead account, Weird Grief, and then we'll get to that. But so originally, in I've come 2021, I was going to submit Eldritch Everyday 2, which I've had in development for a while. I had the idea from a friend when I did the first one, and I wrote it down, and then I started really working on it in the summer. But then some really bad shit went down, and I couldn't really get it done. So I was trying to do that, but then I had this idea kind of in my mind about a dead person's Discord account, and it would not leave my brain. I just had this idea and it wouldn't go away. I was like, let me focus on this for a bit and see where this goes. So I focused on that idea and I started fleshing it out. I started making it, into more and more of a game, seeing where the characters were, seeing what the scenario was. It took a while for me to figure out whose perspective I wanted it to be from, because I was like, is it going to be from the dead person's perspective, and then after they die it switches to someone else? Is it going to be from someone else? So eventually I decided it would be on the perspective of a moderator of this Discord-esque server, and then have the other characters do messaging. And yeah, well, if you played it, then I need to explain that to you. But it took a while to get to that point, but it was worth it, and I'm really glad I did. It took around 8 days to fully do the game, as I wrote down in my description. And then as I wrote it, I got invested in the characters, and I was wondering how they were dealing with the situation. So I decided to write Weird Grief as a companion piece. So here's the thing you gotta know about Weird Grief. I don't want to blow your mind, but Weird Grief is a game about sex. So every single choice you make, except for the last one in the game, is about sexual activity. It's a consistent theme throughout the entire project, and there is no avoiding it. There is no making it safe for younger audiences. It's a game about fucking. So every single choice is about fucking in some way. So that was Weird Grief, and it was an interesting project. I wanted to explore the characters and just really see how they dealt with the whole situation, how they lived after Mike died, and I wanted to look into that. I wanted to see what was going on. How were they dealing with the grief? Is this healthy? Is it unhealthy? It's not up to them. It's up to you, the player. Is this healthy activity, or should I slow down? Is this something I should be participating in? So that was the idea behind Weird Grief. And I just want to take a moment to point out this stupid paragraph I found in the feedback section. Alright, this person said to me, I applaud the slice of life approach, but having it be about furries and trans and polyamorous relationships and depression seemed more than a time manipulative. Like, if I dared to dislike the story, I would be insensitive for the marginalized, suffering groups at once, that it would somehow make me a bad person. There are quite a few caps in that paragraph. To whoever wrote that, I just want to let you know that you can write reviews without criticizing marginalized groups. I don't want to blow your mind or anything, but lady try doing that. No, no. Deal with your shit, man. Don't dump your shit on me. What the fuck? So yeah, Weird Grief was meant to be a very straightforward game. It's not meant to have a lot of branching paths. It's meant to be more of a straight shot with a few branches here and there, and then a final choice, of course, that does change the outcomes, but you don't get to see what those outcomes are. So what's the idea behind it? And yeah, I don't know what else to say about those games, honestly. Like, there's something you want to know specifically, let me know because I don't know what else to say. It was um it was an interesting experience. I gotta tell you, writing these games and kind of falling in love with the characters along the way, which is what made Weird Grief happen. And I would love to explore them more, but I don't think anyone's interested in that because no one really cared about either one. So maybe I won't do that, because there's no point in releasing a game no one's going to play. Tree falls in the forest, no one's around, no one hears it. So what would the point be? But that all brings us to my latest development and the biggest reason I'm making this video for you, which is the fact that I am done. I am stopping the making IF direction. For the time being, I don't know when I'll be back. But during the judging period, I got this review on Weird Grief that said it wasn't a real IF comp game, and that they were downvoting the story reload on sheer principle. And honestly, reading that just really snapped something inside of me. It reminded me how strict the standards are for IF comp games, and that if you don't follow the standards, you're fucked. And it just made me so depressed. And later in the month, I found myself sworn with, maybe a few weeks later, whatever. A few weeks later, I found myself hit with a really bad bout of suicidal thoughts after some really bad shit went down again. I don't know what my life is with all this shit going down. It's like boom, boom, boom. Like, what the fuck is going on? But anyway, some bad shit went down, and in the middle of those thoughts to actually kill myself, I faced this creative crisis. I was wondering if any of my work really, truly mattered to anyone. And I've been doing this for 6 years, I was wondering maybe it's all for nothing. Maybe it was just pointless. So the suicidal thoughts left, but the feeling of meaningless creation it didn't go away. So I decided to stop making games for the time being. Promise myself I would not try during this, but I guess I'm not keeping that promise today. I made a tweet and I made a blog post explaining all this. Maybe I'll rehash my points, maybe I won't, we'll see. But what you need to know is that whenever I enter IF comp every year for 6 years, my work gets seen, it gets recognized, it gets seen, but it's not seen as good IF, except for one exception, which was Lower Distance Relationship, because I designed it to fit the rules. I designed it very specifically. I designed it with IF comp judges in mind, knowing what makes a good IF comp game. But the main point is that when I release stuff in IF comp, it's barely ever seen as good by their standards, and it doesn't matter how much effort I put into it. It doesn't matter what I do. I could put months of my life, a year of my life into these things. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fit the standards, so it's garbage every year. So that's what IF comp does. And then when I release stuff outside of IF comp, no one gives a shit, no one cares. Like the one time I tried an IF game that was more commercial, and I tried with Our Cleaner 2070, and I marketed this shit up. I put so much goddamn effort into that thing. But didn't pay off. It didn't pay off. It was kind of a shame. Real shame there. But I feel stuck. Because on one hand, I want to make IF that's seen as good, as valid. On the other hand, I want to make those weird experiments. I want to pour my heart into those games. I want to make shit that matters. I can't do both. So I'm done. I just feel so stuck right now. Not going anywhere. I just very tired. So just gonna stop. That's Norvez. I'm not releasing any more games for the time being. I'm just not doing that anymore for right now. I don't know when I'm gonna be back. If I come back, because I have to. I feel like I have to sit down and unpack a lot of things that I've learned to see my work as good or not good based on IFCOM standards. I gotta sit down and unpack all that bullshit. And then when I'm done with that, I'll come back. Or I won't. I don't know yet. I just feel so trapped because on one hand, I still want to be recognized and seen as a good creator of things. And on the other hand, there's the want to make experimental IF, even if it doesn't work out. And those two things have been fighting inside of me for years. And I can't do it anymore. I'm tired of the battle, so I'm just gonna stop for a while. And I don't know if I'll come back. I don't know if I want to come back, to be honest. I like making games, but I hate releasing games because I know what happens when I release a game. Either it gets called shit or no one cares. And it's really hard to be ignored and to be regarded as a lesser developer by a lot of people. And getting told for 6 years, 6 goddamn years, your work isn't good enough. It doesn't have choices. It doesn't have this. It's not. It's not a parser game. Whatever you want to say. It's just frustrating. And I'm just about done with that. I just want peace. Yeah, I don't know what else there is to say, really, but I want you to know that I want to be seen. I want my work to be recognized as worthy. But no, not really. That hasn't really happened. It only happens when I fit the standard, when I fit the mold everyone wants IF to be in that little box. It's like crawling in the box, squeezing yourself in. And it hurts sometimes knowing that that's the only way people like you. They don't like you when you get outside the box, that's for damn sure. It's got a little more rambly than I expected, so I apologize. But at the end of it, I'm leaving. And I don't think I'll be missed. I don't think I made a much of an impact, really. And that's it. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them. I'll link to my my blog post, excuse me, and Twitter thread about why I'm leaving, and you can read that at your leisure. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I thank you for watching, I guess. This is the last video I'm making for a while. I tried to do the YouTube show, but really hasn't been working out. And I don't feel like creating anymore. Yeah. So I'm just gonna stick with my other stuff, my other things. Things outside of this space. Okay. Well, that's it. I will see you another time. Thank you for watching, and